Hey everyone, this is Harry for the Growby10 channel. Thank you for joining me. If you have a chance, please visit me at freemanuniversity.com or freemanu.com. At the end of this series, at the end of this conclusion, which should be a two-part conclusion, please stay tuned for a very important special message and gift that I'm going to be offering all my subscribers. So please stay tuned for that. If I can't get it up today, I'm going to definitely get it off to you tomorrow, because tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of the opening of this channel. I did not do a first video until January, but I did open it on November 25th, 2008. Okay, we're finally here at the conclusion of this series. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me to the end. You know, your comments and feedback really sparked a great exchange of ideas. And to save time, I decided to cut out about 10-15 minutes of this intro and outline of the many other factors that are keeping the gold price suppressed, and just skip into the meat of the matter. And depending how you guys feel and how I feel, I'll post that later on. We're going to touch on some main points and beliefs, covering why people think that gold is the best protection in the time of financial Armageddon, and walk through some scenarios to show that the majority, again, that's very important, the majority of people out there, this is not the case. And yes, I'm going to make this Sesame Street simple. Many people believe that owning gold, physical gold, is the best protection from a collapsing dollar/economy. You know, in their eyes, it provides them insurance for the worst case scenario, because I hear this all the time, and this is what I'm going to be talking about. Worst case scenario of what? Of the dollar collapsing. And also that it's the best option out there. Now, there's a web of interconnected issues with gold and the dollar and our financial reality. But for the sake of simplicity and time, we're just going to connect the dots on the most relevant, which will result in the blatant exposing of the flawed thinking of most gold investors. Now, why choose gold? Because paper or fiat currency gets devalued through the printing of money. Or I should say, in our case, here in the U.S., the hell of a lot of printing of money, right? You know, this is the main point of most people who believe in gold as a protection against as a hedge against hyperinflation. You know, all else being equal is very logical. But what's logical in one state of nature breaks down in different environments, in different situations. More on that in a little bit. But first, let me say that if you haven't heard the arguments about the power of deflation, not inflation, deflation, please, when you have some time, dig a little bit deeper. You know, I've done some videos about deflation, and I believe you must understand the forces of deflation to build a more complete picture of your gold position and your financial reality. But deflation is not my main point in this video. You know, but I have and I continue to believe that deflation caused by the massive deleveraging of our financial system, you know, the collapse in asset prices, real estate, for example, and all types of investments. And now we have severe contraction in private sector credit, not to mention growing unemployment and the underutilization of the factors of production, which means like all these idle factories out there. Again, not only unemployment, but underemployed workers who wish to be, you know, fully employed, but there's just not enough work out there for them. This is happening here and throughout the world. And all these downward forces are all sitting on the other side of the seesaw to the Fed printing press. I'm not going to talk about this, though. I just want to briefly touch on it, and I'm not going to talk about the U.S. and the world powers that want to keep the dollar from collapsing for a scenario. At least they don't want to collapse right now. In this scenario, we pretty much say that we've gone past the point of no return. I and others can talk days and weeks about each of these topics I mentioned. Again, these are the counterbalances to inflation. And the crazy thing is, I mention this because the crazy thing is that you guys who are actually holding physical gold do not want hyperinflation. Yes, that's right. What you do want, though, is steady and controlled inflation. And you want these factors that I mentioned to provide a strong enough downward force to keep the dollar from collapsing. It is counterintuitive, but that's how investing in life is sometimes. Now let's just go ahead and jump down this rabbit hole and guess who's joining us. Well, we have some YouTube royalty on this trip, at least their words, straight from the mouths of the gold and silver masters on YouTube, Stella Concepts and Da Vinci. I know you guys all heard of them. Okay, let's see what they had to say in the comments of my past videos. Stella Concepts, cool guy. We're friends on Facebook. He says, and this is in his own words, very, very few people are investing in gold and silver. Maybe, and maybe is in capital letters, maybe 1 in 100. Now Da Vinci, who has a huge following, and he rated my my videos like I think a 1. He states, or should I say, he yells, because a lot of his stuff is in caps. He says, "Name somebody else other than me who has purchased gold." None. No one. No one mentioned a goddamn name. So the gist of that is, he also believes that no one's buying gold. And you know what? I believe them. That only a very small percentage hold gold, especially in a substantial amount. So we could easily say that 1 to 3% of the population owns some sort of gold. And I postulate that as gold rises, fewer and fewer people will be able to buy and own it. So at $2,500 an ounce, you're only going to have a fraction of the people compared to now who go out and continue to buy gold. And especially in an economy that's going downhill and the economic conditions will be deteriorating, people who own gold and precious metals will have to sell or trade or somehow convert their gold and turn it into something else during the price run-up. And we've seen this for cash for gold. It was a huge hit, and as price goes up, there's going to be more of the regular people out there who hold gold, who, especially again with the bad economic times, going to go ahead and change that into cash or some other form of asset or something else. And again, that's going to lower the percentage of people who hold gold. And when gold goes to $2,500 or beyond, the only way to buy more gold is you could sell your own gold first of all, or sell other assets that you have. You could sell your dollars, you could sell your homes, you could sell even your services, anything else, which you could then turn around and acquire some more gold. But at that time, of course, it's going to cost a lot more just to get the same amount of gold you got just a little bit before. And of course, that means that you give up a lot more of your stuff to get the less gold. Now, this could be seen as similar to the bubble phase in real estate. Remember when you could, even though you sold your home for 2 or 3 times your original purchase price, but the home you want to buy is like now 5 times what it was before, so it's out of your price range. So the takeaway for this section is that the result in skyrocketing prices of gold will be fewer and fewer people who own gold. Only governments and financial institutions and the very rich can now buy at these elevated prices. So at best, 1% of the population will own gold, and this is confirmed by the gold and silver masters already. So at worst, it's going to be a fraction of that 1% will be able to hold on to their current gold assets, or let alone acquire even more. And as our dollars become more and more worthless and gold hits say 5,000, I could guesstimate that maybe less than 1 in 1,000 will have enough gold to call substantial. And when I mean substantial, I'm going to say to have an impact, a great impact on their lives. And for example, we could say they could live off it for 6 months or maybe a year. we could say that's substantial, and other people would say that's not substantial at all, but we could just say that's substantial. Anything less I wouldn't call substantial.